This is an Audio Wool original.
Hi, Kelly.
You know what I just did? When you turned away, I showed my ceiling.
What? I just saw it. I can see the whole thing. Kelly, you had there was a visitation this week.
There was. Yep.
I can't remember how many times we've talked to this person, but it sure is a handful.
A lot.
Might be the most returned guest, right?
He probably is, and also was a little upset that it's been so long, but it was good. We caught up. We had a really good chat.
We being you and
me and Seth. Yeah, you were just like
Seth Breedlove. I was busy.
Seth Breedlove.
I was doing business.
Seth Breedlove from Small Town Monsters.
Great. See, you've done this a decade. Just so you know.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be this bad at it.
It's part of my charm, Byron.
Well, it sure hasn't been marketable, if I'm being honest. Kelly, Seth's new feature film documentary came out this week, a big one.
Yeah, Lost Contact. It's gotten a whole bunch of play in our little UFO community corner. It's fascinating. It's actually a really human-centered story about an Air Force fella post-World War II and a really tragic incident. I guess he was Army Air Corps, not Air Force, because the Air Force didn't exist yet, on account of it not being Roswell yet.
Yeah, those are the kinds of small-town monster docs that I really connect with. He does great work in general, but yeah, there's been a handful of select ones that have been very personal, and it's
I also think we're gonna get him to Bradshaw Ranch. I feel like I sold him on it.
Yeah, what else did you two talk about?
Oh, we talked about all sorts of things. We talked about Skinwalkers. We talked about he asked me some questions. He did an interview. I did my new favorite thing, which is the whole desert island question. I made him do that.
Yeah, you did that to Jacob after our last episode, but
Yep. Well, I'm going to do that to everybody now. It's my new thing.
It's really a long thing, though. It's not like
it's really long.
So it's not
I know, but that's my trademark. Is like too long.
It's not
too long.
You're not Joe Rogan. You can't do this.
Well, thank God I'm not, because I like things other than raw meat.
Wonderful.
We also talked about Charlie Kirk. Speaking of raw meat, so
great.
I don't know, Rogan liked Charlie Kirk, right? Did you hear Carlson is now saying
just
that
a little intro
Charlie
for
Kirk
the show. Kelly,
I forgot. Sorry.
It's not a podcast, but
sorry.
It's time for you and Seth to have a little discussion.
Yes. You guys, I hope you enjoy. Seth's great, and we are going to talk to him again pretty soon because he's got some new things coming out at the end of the year. So if you have any burning questions that I didn't ask, please shoot me an email. Also, we're recording our Halloween episode soon, so please send me your spooky stories. We've got quite a lineup, but I always am looking for more.
It's been a while since we've done a True Tales of Terror episode, so
there's some really solid ones, but it's weird. Part of me wants to keep waiting because I feel like we keep getting these incredible ones.
I got some,
but I guess we'll always have another.
Got a pretty wild one this week too that I have not shared with you, and send them to Byron@Frightday.com. Subject line: True Tales of Terror. And,
or Kelly@Frightday.com.
I'd say keep them a surprise.
Subject line: You're better than Byron.
That's not true. She's not a very good producer. She would just say, I mean, Kelly, just so you know, we have part 2 of Zanzibar as well, just so you know. One of our whistleblowers. You can look forward to that. Yeah. Coming out soon, but Byron@Frightday.com. Make sure to go to smalltownmonsters.com. I believe his Seth's latest feature film is available now on Apple TV or Amazon. Is it just Amazon?
It's Amazon, but I think it's a few other places. I'm always trying to find somewhere else to buy it, but yeah.
Check it out, and have a listen. This is Kelly and Seth.
Enjoy! the big reason that I texted you and wanted to talk was I kept seeing all over the place people posting about this new Lost Contact documentary on
Mhm.
Prime. And I had no idea until I opened it up and it was like Small Town Monsters. I was like, what? But it had shown up. I don't know. I try to avoid, I'm off a lot of social media these days just because otherwise
You
I'm
lose
just
your
all
mind.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's just
that
too much.
it is.
I've had some insane experiences in the last couple of months, even with friends, where I'm like, this is literally worse than anybody even tells us it is. Like, I can't even be on this anymore.
We've
Um,
lost our minds as a nation, is what's
like
happened.
it's really Byron's gonna be mad at me for getting into this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Whoa,
So
whoa,
after the
hey,
Charlie
whoa,
Kirk
whoa,
thing,
whoa, cut it out.
Oh, get out of here.
What are
Get
we
the
doing?
fuck out.
Okay, I'll see you.
no, I'm illustrating a point. So after the Charlie Kirk thing, my manager, the manager that I hired that handles all of my like tutors in my other universe,
Mhm,
is like very, very Christian and very conservative.
mhm.
And so she and I have become like, we talk to each other about all these things all the time because we're like, I'm her token liberal friend and she's my token conservative friend. And
Mhm.
we like try to keep each other sane, like, okay, actually, like not everybody on the other side of the aisle is evil.
Yeah,
And right
that
after
is
Charlie,
super important to have that, by the way.
so like right after Charlie Kirk, she like freaked out and was like despondent. And I'm like, wait a second, Katie. Like, I know you. You're like one of the kindest humans I've ever met. How, like, I understand this is super scary that it happened, but how are you like actually despondent about this guy? But like, will you send me the videos that you have seen from him, like that
Mhm.
make you think he was this amazing human? So she sends me all these videos, and I'm like, yep, never saw any of this. And she's like, well, what makes you think he's so fucking evil? And I was like, okay. So I sent her stuff. She's like, I cannot believe he said that. That is insane, Kelly. I had no idea. And literally, we had both been like shown completely
It's a
different humans.
weaponization of the culture. It's
And
like
we're all down
yeah,
for it.
everyone's in. That was the
It's
why
so
man,
scary.
I don't even want to know if I want to get into it, to be honest.
No, no,
It's
no. You should, because here's the thing. This is what's driving me crazy, Seth. Nobody wants to talk about it because
yeah.
everybody's so worried that they're going to get screamed at and get in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's why with Katie, I'm like, Katie, I know you're a good human. So I know that anything you're saying is coming from a good place. We need to talk.
Hmm.
Like, because the fact that we just pretend like the other doesn't even exist is what
Yeah.
gets us to this shitty place to begin with. But I was like, I think he was just a freaking human. Like, I didn't like him. I didn't think he did good things. But also, it's pretty freaking scary that a dude gets assassinated in front of his kids.
Yeah.
Like, that we're at that place. Like, that's scary as shit. And then that people everywhere
No, but the
self-righteously, like,
battle lines are drawn in moments. Like that was a wild one. Um, and I posted about
so
it and
scary.
I don't post about anything, but I posted
Yeah.
about that one because there were so many jokes flying around about it on my timeline because I'm friends with a lot of liberal people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so I don't know. I'm trying to I have a habit of like let me think of how to put it. I think a lot of us are this way. Actually, I know that a lot of us are this way. That there's like an instinctive uh uh it's like your response to something like that especially can go real dark real fast.
Yep.
And people that don't have the self-awareness to
You could
recognize
just leave it
that
down there. Thank you.
people that don't have the self-awareness to recognize that
Yeah.
um, predominantly boomers,
So
uh,
true. So
uh,
true.
really help ramp the whole thing up to another level. So I agree
Well,
about
it,
conversation, especially.
it has to be. I mean, like, I actually, when Byron texted me and like full disclosure, my first reaction was like, awesome.
Mm,
And I actually called my friend Amy, who is like, she married Sam and I, and she's Switzerland on
mm,
everything. She's just perfect. And I'm like, okay, I need to talk this through with you because I'm really freaked out that that was my reaction. And I
yeah,
need you to like talk me into a better place. Like, I don't like, and so we sat on the phone and talked for like 2 hours. But knowing even that that was my gut reaction, I'm like, like
yeah,
that's not where I want to be. And then, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing has been really scary. And I just keep trying to lean into like, I don't know, I think we should talk to people about it because I think that it's one of those things that people feel strongly enough about. It's a good opportunity to really practice being a human being and talking to other human beings about it and not making people feel like they can't feel one way or the
Well,
other.
yeah, and even like running a company, which I do,
Mm,
we are
mm.
split internally as far as like political. There's a, politically, I don't know. Honestly, we're not even split. There's a lot of like odd like uh
Outliers.
side beliefs within the
Great.
political opinions within
That's
STM.
great. Honestly, that's better than either of the main ones, probably.
Yeah, probably. And so it's tough with that too because you're always like I don't want to bring, first of all, I don't want to bring politics into STM, like internally.
Right,
So,
right,
but
right.
you're always like, you don't want to say the wrong thing, tick off the wrong person, and everyone's walking this tightrope. But I will say, like, as a group, I think it's been really cool how like we all get together and don't have those kind of like fights regarding stuff, but like it's not like we're avoiding topics either. I think the topics come up. We don't have like in-depth discussions about them, but I think we have an internal kind of I don't know, camaraderie that overcomes, maybe differences of opinion within
Well,
the
yeah. I
group.
mean, that's how we all remember that, like, okay, we actually have 99.9% of things in common
Hmm.
and like probably don't need to dedicate half of our waking energy to hating.
It's social media, dude.
It,
It's
so
ramped it up
my thing, I
so
really think
bad.
it's like the end of Fight Club where they blew up the credit rating agencies, the buildings. I'm like, if we did that to every social media server, I actually think like half of our problems, at least in this country, would be solved.
Byron, cut that part. Cut that part. She's scaring me now.
You
I'm
got
sorry. I really would. If I had the skills or expertise or could keep a secret or could do anything, like I
Hmm.
would totally do that. But
Yeah.
I have none of it. I
Hmm.
just work with kids that hopefully maybe one day will. But
Hmm.
yeah. So it's funny now. In fact, I was bugging Katie, my manager. I'm like, I think we should have a podcast. And I think every week we should each bring a story that's flying around in our neck of the woods that's total bullshit and
Hmm.
come and talk about it and explain like why it's bullshit and do it like as nice friends talking to each other, even though like her reaction to Charlie Kirk that weekend, she like dug into the Bible, was sure that like it was the second coming, like everything's over. I went and watched UFO videos and researched aliens all weekend. And I'm like, we did the
Hmm.
same fucking thing. Like it's the
Yeah.
same thing. We both
Yeah.
needed to like believe in something bigger and lean on something that felt, you know, more stable than what we're dealing with right now.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I agree. I think everybody should talk about it. And I think that it's really important in workplaces like the one that you have where people are creative. There are smart people there with a lot of good ideas. And if they feel like they're in a place where they can actually like exchange those ideas with people, the world's always going to end up in a better place as a result,
Hmm. No, I agree.
especially now that you believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah, I gotta go out there today. I'm gonna be out where
The
I had my
same
sighting.
place?
In fact, we're doing a recreation of my sighting today. Yeah, yeah. That's Alex is driving over from New Hampshire on his way to Kentucky, and he wanted to film like a recreation of it. I think he means kind of a scientific recreation, not
Right,
a
right, right. Like where were you standing when this
yeah,
happened?
that
Like where
kind of
was
thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like a
So
walkthrough, not like a yeah.
which will be weird because I haven't been out there much because the property has been quiet. Things actually there was some activity at the beginning of the year. I want to say like very well, it's like mid to late spring there was some activity out there. Um
Ooh. Like when you say activity, you mean like evidence of or like people saw
Yeah,
something or like
Heather experienced some stuff out there in the spring, and but I'm saying
hmm?
that, but it's like it's gonna have to be a general statement because I cannot remember exactly what she said
Oh,
happened. But there were things
so you're not trying
happening.
to be sneaky. Okay.
No, no, there were things that she said happened, uh, and then she had a bunch of like life stuff come up, and she kind of stopped
Oh.
paying attention for a few months. And it's I do know I'll ask her every time I see her, and she tells me it's been pretty quiet. So Here in Ohio, the activity seems to like, from all the researchers I've talked to, like guys that have been doing this for a long time, the activity waxes and wanes, but it does it over a sort of like pattern of 2 to 3 years. So like you'll have a year that pops off, and then there's 2 to 3 years of quiet, and then it pops off again. And I don't know if that's
Interesting. They're like cicadas.
circling. Yeah, they're circling around the area. I mean, with Heather's property, especially like that that property is surrounded by areas that are being developed now. Um,
Oh.
and so I think that we caught them during like a year where they had moved off of the neighboring property, which they had been developing to turn into like a dirt bike track. And
Oh.
I think they came over to where she's at, but her property doesn't have any real. There's no water source. I mean, there's a pond on it, but there's no running water. There's no like, you know, naturally. There's no springs or anything, no creeks. There's some runoffs, but it's not there year round. So I think they probably moved over by the river, which is right down the road.
Okay,
Which,
so
like, if you're going toward the river and then you cross over the river, right there is where her mother-in-law lives, and her mother-in-law had a sighting in December of 2017. So it kind of makes sense. Like, it all kind of, you know, there's a pattern at play, and then you can look at when the activity happens and where.
so when you go and work on a movie like Siege of Eight Canyon, do
Mhm.
you approach it totally differently now that you're like on the other side?
Siege specifically, I just produced. So,
Okay.
so I didn't get to go there, even though it's my bucket list. It was my bucket list movie, but I couldn't make it because it was last summer and we were broke, like as a company. So I had
Damn
Eli
it.
film it. But yeah, no, I definitely do because, um, but it's in a weird way where I'm kind of like analyzing things in the background while my filmmaker hat is still being worn in the foreground. That was a
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. No, that makes sense.
That was
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah. Because I still really dig the fun, kitschy side of Bigfoot, and I
Right.
having a sighting didn't make me. I'm not the Jane Goodall of Sasquatchery now or something.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but
Okay, what
so
about
it's
this though?
changed that
Does it
way.
make you more, because on the one hand, I'm like, oh, it probably makes you believe everybody, but actually,
No.
does it make you more critical when people say stuff? You're like, bullshit. That's not what that looks like.
No, I don't, because I would, if I told myself from 5 years ago what I saw, that Seth would have been saying bullshit. That's not because
Yeah.
what I saw looked like a dude in a suit. When I say that, I don't mean I think it was a person in a suit. I mean, what I saw looked like that thick fur you buy at Pat Catan's, or they don't exist anymore, Michael's, or like someplace
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yep.
That's it looked like a real thick, like dog fur, short too, not long. I didn't see anything stringy or hanging off, which is
No
weird.
dreads. Just like
Right. Yeah. And I only
short.
saw it for a second. So I didn't have a lot of time to see it. But what I saw, also, it was broad daylight, which is weird.
It's my favorite
And
part of it.
it wasn't like we weren't making noise. We were in an ATV. Like it had to know we were there. I don't know. My thinking on it now is that it was a young one because it also did not seem to be very big. Um,
Yeah.
but
It was
yeah.
just so, as a longtime believer, I've never really given much space in my head to the idea of this whole like interdimensional Bigfoot idea.
Mm,
After seeing one, are you more or less open to that possibility?
much less.
Okay. It
Yeah.
feels incredibly like terrestrial and normal and like
Yeah,
just an animal.
and that's coming from someone who experienced really weird stuff on that same property. Like there was a night where there was a very odd, like sort of sustained electrical hum that went on for an entire night, enough loud enough that it shook our entire cabin.
Really?
Yeah, the windows on the cabin were shaking the entire night, and I could not figure out what that was. It ran from about 11 o'clock at night until 5 o'clock in the morning. Um,
Okay, so give me a hypothesis. What do you think it was?
I don't know. Corey, Heather's husband, thinks it might have been like farm equipment on a neighboring property, which I would be open to if the if it hadn't gone for like 7, 8 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
Um, and then
that's
the other thing I've heard is that there's a very large like high tension power line that runs through the property, and someone was like, "Oh, maybe it was wet," and I was like, "I grew up near one of those. I've heard that. I'm familiar with it. It
that's not what it
doesn't
sounded like.
rattle the windows of a cabin. It's not that loud." And I don't know I don't have a theory on what it was. I think weird stuff happens on that property. We saw lights, um, you know, like mystery lights in the woods. But
And
I
even
also,
with that, you're
yeah,
not like connection. You don't think there's a connection.
no, I don't. I think that kind of stuff happens in the woods because I've experienced that stuff in other places. Whereas, I mean, to me, it makes sense that those two disparate phenomena would at some point overlap. Um, so yeah, that's my thing.
So I really need to pitch you on the idea of going down to Bradshaw Ranch in Sedona.
We tried to do a thing there.
Really?
Back in 2019, 2020, when we were filming on the Trail of UFOs, we actually went to Sedona and we were in Sedona and we were supposed to interview, what's his name? Tom
Oh
Dongo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Dongo, the
yeah.
guy that like kind of took over for yeah.
Yeah. And he got lost trying to get to my rental Airbnb. And so we just called it. We were like, well, let's go eat pizza. So we left in and went and had pizza
Okay.
instead of filming that part. The Bradshaw Ranch thing is interesting, but I also think all these, like, I don't know, dude, the ranch thing's getting out of control.
Okay, okay, fair
Everyone's got a
enough.
ranch.
Fair enough. So Seth, Sam and I snuck on
Hmm.
and walked around on the ranch.
Okay.
I'm going to send you some photos.
You saw a skinwalker.
No, but we
Okay.
saw some really fucking weird footprints.
Really?
Like really weird footprints. And Sam's sister is like outward bound for 8 years, like raised hunting, fishing.
Yeah.
She's like the most outdoorsy human I know. I
Right.
sent her photos. She's like, Kelly, how'd you make these? Really funny. And I'm like, no, seriously. She's like, Kelly, this makes no sense. Like the closest thing I think she found to match it was like, I don't know, some crazy giant animal in Africa. I don't even remember what it was, but really weird shit. And there's a guy that is super interesting. I just interviewed him. Well, I interviewed him a couple months ago, but we just posted it. His name is Jurgen Hess. He goes by Hoodoo Tall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And his whole thing is interacting with the Bigfoot creatures
Mm-hmm.
on Bradshaw Ranch. Like
Okay.
he literally lives down there and like engages in dialogue, like leaves things for them, comes back,
Mm.
like super fascinating. It would be the best movie. It
Mm.
would be so good. And this guy's like super deep, weird, high strangeness roots. He was like John Lear's protege in the last 15 years of John Lear's life, the crazy Art
Yeah.
Bell guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you say how big were the footprints you saw? Were they round? Or,
I'll send you pictures. They
okay.
were round-ish, yeah.
I don't want to derail this interview
But
slash conversation, but I wrote down some questions I have for you.
oh
Um,
boy.
I did this
Okay.
morning. I
Mm,
am a seasoned interviewer myself. I love
like,
interviewing people. I love talking to people.
mm-hmm.
And I thought I've known Kelly for a long time since 20, was it 2017?
Yeah,
And
it
so I
was.
really wanted to get in depth. And I have a question in here that's like specifically because I think Byron will enjoy it too. So I wanted to, before we go on with talking
Okay.
about
Glad you said
cryptids.
that because I was about to cut everyone off in
Yeah.
whatever's about to happen. So okay, let's hear you out.
All right.
I'm very excited about this.
All right. First question. This is just a warm up. Okay. First
Okay.
question.
Okay.
What is your favorite color? 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 What is your favor Oh wow, I didn't. Byron's clapping.
I'm gonna go with olive green.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Really important one. This is important to me. And
Okay.
all interviews should relate back to the interviewer and
Interviewer. No,
be
I agree.
important to me.
Agree.
What is your favorite Get Up Kids song? Mm-hmm. Go on. Are you typing? This is
What
cheating.
is he doing?
I don't know.
I mean,
Stumped her.
she's.
I'm sorry.
Oh God.
All right. What is your favorite Seth Breedlove movie?
I just want you to
Ooh.
hold tight. She just said something from the
Hmm.
2018 album. That's
Yeah.
her
Okay.
favorite
Full
Get Up.
disclosure, I couldn't tell you the name of a single song by the Get Up Kids. That's why I looked it up.
I'm shocked you know who the Get Up Kids are. Do you know who the Get Up Kids are?
I don't think
Well,
so.
yeah, because I've heard Byron talk about them
Okay.
Wait, when would I have talked about them? I've probably
With
just,
with
me.
Seth.
With
probably
me,
just
you
no, I know.
Yes.
Listen, okay. So really,
Yeah.
there's anything off of 4 Minute Mile, but I'm gonna turn this
So
off.
I have no shame about my musical taste, Seth,
hmm
but it is not quality.
hmm
Okay.
Okay.
So full
Well,
disclosure.
most people say mine isn't either. So,
Well, that's okay. It's all right because I don't need it to be. It's like art, you know. You enjoy what you enjoy. It's okay. In terms of my favorite movie of yours,
yes.
um, I love Flatwoods.
Okay.
Um,
That's Tommy's favorite.
it might be Flatwoods, although Lost Contact, Sam and I had this long discussion after watching it, and I really, really like it.
Okay. I don't
I
care
really
about
like
Lost
the,
Contact.
yeah. I mean, it's like the deep dive and all of the family interviews and like the
Yeah.
very human.
Okay.
I love it. But I like
What
all of the
is,
stuff.
all right, hold on. I got another one.
Okay.
This is an
Okay.
important one. And this is like challenging you. Like, how much do you know? What is
Oh.
your favorite Seth Breedlove quote?
I saw Bigfoot.
Very nice. Okay. You know what? I'm done. I had made an entire list of Seth Breedlove related questions, but I don't want to keep going because I feel like
No, I love it.
I wanted a laugh track here and people roll in, and I just feel like you're answering
No,
very seriously.
I am very serious. It's a very serious topic. I've
Mhm.
interviewed you enough times. I should be an expert. I completely agree. Okay, now I'm going to ask you questions. You're
Okay.
going to be stranded on an island for
Uh-huh.
5 years, and you get a
Yeah.
magically charged iPad. And on that iPad,
Yeah.
you get to bring all the episodes of 3 podcasts,
Ooh.
all the episodes of 3 shows,
Mm-hmm.
3 movies, 3 books, and all the music ever recorded by 3 musicians. Okay,
Good.
so it's 15.
This is a multifaceted question though.
It is.
The podcast thing. Oh geez. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts anymore.
I
And
mean, you
I
probably
know
don't have
one of
time.
these you're just gonna scoff at me for.
That's
I
okay.
would go, man.
Don't say Rogan.
Rogan,
Ah,
Rebel Force Radio, which
okay.
is
I
a
don't know what it
Star
is, but I like it more than Rogan.
it's a Star Wars podcast.
Oh, then I'm
Um,
sure it's great.
uh, and what do I listen to? God, this is brutal.
Don't ruin Andor though, because I haven't seen the
The
last two
Complete Guide
episodes.
to Everything.
Okay.
That's a great one.
Okay.
And then what was the other thing? I don't remember.
So podcasts,
Yeah,
TV shows,
TV shows. Oh God,
movies,
that's
books,
hard.
music.
Okay, it's 3 TV shows.
Mm-hmm. Three of
Okay,
everything.
The Office, Seinfeld, The Andy Griffith Show.
Okay. Awesome last poll.
Okay,
Love that. Okay.
uh-huh.
Big
Yeah,
Don Knotts fan.
yeah.
All right. Movies.
I don't. This is mean.
Seinfeld was wrong, by the way. It was supposed to be Curb. Curb is way
I've
better than
never
Seinfeld.
watched Curb. Never
Jerry
seen it.
Seinfeld's so fucking annoying, and Larry
Yeah,
David's great.
I do like Larry David.
Amazing.
Casablanca, Singing in the Rain, Star Wars: A New Hope.
Ooh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. At least you said like specifically which Star Wars. That's good.
Yeah.
Two oldies. Interesting.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
my mom raised me on movies,
Old
so
movies.
I was
Yeah.
introduced to a lot of old movies.
First Laurel and Hardy movie ever came out today.
Really?
Yeah, it's the anniversary.
I
Hmm.
thought you meant it just came out today, like it
Oh
just
no,
released.
no,
It's
like
in
whatever,
theaters.
31 or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
music?
Music and books.
Oh God. Jimmy Eat World is a favorite band. Uh Jimmy Eat World and geez. You know what? I've become obsessed with Judah and the Lion. I don't know why.
Okay. Love them. I saw them
Yeah.
live.
Yeah, so did I. And
They're
they were
great
great.
live.
He
They're
came out
so
into the
good.
crowd and hugged this little kid that was next to me, this little boy who was there,
Oh,
and it was like that
sweetest
was
thing.
yeah, that was the moment where I was like, okay, because that could be Tommy, because Tommy loves Suit and Jacket. That's been like his favorite
It's
song forever.
such a great song. It's a
Yeah,
good anthem for kids.
yeah, he loves that one. And then oh God, I don't know. Maybe I go with something from my youth and pick Smashing Pumpkins. Um,
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Corgan's like making a circle around. He's less crazy now.
is he?
He's like coming back. Yeah,
That's not as
yeah.
fun.
And
Books.
yep,
Books. Oh God, can they be comics?
sure,
All right.
totally.
So there's this two issue Neil Gaiman, which I'm sorry for bringing it up. It's
No, I mean,
uh he's awful.
the art's great.
Yeah. He wrote a two issue Batman run after Batman died, called um Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader. And a lot of people don't like
Ooh.
it, but it's about Batman's funeral and then kind of like him in the comics, in the continuity, he's like been shot with a bullet that is sending him through time. So it's in the comic
Ooh.
continuity, it's kind of goofy sci-fi, but this like two issue story is really sad, and it's at least one of the issues, I think it's just one of them, is told from like this really interesting storytelling technique where it's a variation on Goodnight Moon, which was a book we read to Tommy all the
Oh,
time.
oh
and
yeah.
and it's kind of like he's talking about I can't remember exactly, but at one point he's saying goodnight to Alfred, because he's
Oh,
dead, he's dying. And that book has wrecked me every single time I've read it. I bought it for
oh
my
yeah, that sounds
mom. Yeah,
really good.
it's really good. So that's one of them. And then again, this might shock people, but I'm a Christian, grew up a Christian, so I'd go with the Bible. You got to
Bible.
go
I
with
mean,
the
no, it makes sense.
Bible.
I get that answer a lot from people. Yep.
Um, I don't, you know what? Uh, Dang, this is really, I should cheat and pick like a comic book omnibus because then I'd have more.
I actually almost suggested that when you mentioned comic books. I was like, well,
Yeah,
I'd go with an omnibus, but
yeah. No, I'll go with, I'll go with Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
okay.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
That's amazing. Okay. Great
Oh,
answers.
dang. You know what?
What? Ooh,
I gotta
ooh.
swap that out. I gotta swap that out. The Steve Martin wrote a book called The Pleasure of My Company.
Mm.
Um, that and
I've
it's one of
read
his. It's one of
I've read
his.
Shop Girl, but not that one.
Shop Girl's great too, but this one's sweet and kind of silly and fun. And Shop Girl's just so sad. Like it,
It's really sad. Yeah.
it's really sad.
Yeah, I didn't read another one after that.
Yeah, you should read Pleasure of My Company was actually I think his first
Okay.
whatever.
Maybe
So
I will then
those
because
yeah.
I would kind of just assumed they were all really depressing after.
No, no. But although he did that other one that was also depressing after Shop Girl, that was I think it's a full blown novel. It's like a heist book.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember hearing about that, but I didn't read it either. Also, now I basically only read like UFO history and like conspiracy theory CIA history books. Like that's
Yeah,
all I read. So,
yeah. No, I get
except
it.
for the Wendigo book
Hmm.
that you guys just released.
Hmm.
And this is your first book,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Okay. So tell me how that even happened. I
Yeah.
love the idea of you guys as this media empire deciding you're going to do books as well. Um,
Yeah.
it is not a lost art. I think it's very
No.
important. So tell me all about
I
it.
think it's super important, especially if people are actually writing it and not running it through through a
Weird
program, because
AI.
this is a bad situation that the Bigfoot world has gotten itself in. There's multiple authors, quote unquote authors right now who I'm aware of who are using ChatGPT to straight up write their entire book.
Just draft
Um,
books.
yeah, and then the books are getting published, and then they're going and doing speaking engagements when they didn't actually touch
Okay, so I have a
a
question. Are
keyboard.
these
Yeah.
authors people who wrote books previous to having
No,
ChatGPT?
no. In
So
fact,
there's no voice contrast.
one of my
Okay.
favorite is, oh God, I can't go into this. Maybe
You
I can.
can.
He's
Come on.
like he's a so I'm from Appalachia. God bless us. I'm from, like my family's from deep woods, North Carolina.
Love
Um,
it.
so I love them people, but there is a certain way in which we talk and write. And a
And
guy
it was not present.
a guy I know who is 100% Appalachian can barely string together a properly spelled sentence on Facebook. Has somehow written an entire like 400-page book that was
You sure you didn't just have
published.
like a really good editor?
Yeah, because I ran it through an AI detector.
Okay. I wait, he's self-published, right?
No,
So the publisher didn't run it through an or they did and didn't care?
I don't think they cared. It's a boomer that runs the company, I would be shocked if he even realizes that an AI can write a book. Um,
Oh my
so,
God.
so that's a problem. But yeah, no, I think it's important to to do something like this. Are we going to do it long term? I don't know. We're still trying to find our way as a book publisher. Like the first book we published was actually like a children's book about the veggie man, the vegetable man,
Yeah, I
in West
remember
Virginia.
this.
Yeah, and Michael David Strayer wrote it, and Bally Raven did the art, and it's really beautiful. It's an adorable little book. We did that, and then we did the Kinderhook creature, which I'm adapting into a movie. I'm not really adapting it. I have my own very specific story I'm trying to tell with that movie.
Okay, but I mean, it's adjacent.
And
I
so
mean,
what
because
we're
Kinderhook really isn't hugely known, I don't think. I
no,
don't think it's as like widely known.
no, and it doesn't just involve like a Bigfoot story. There's the blob stuff. There's
Hmm.
poltergeist activity. There's ghosts. There's shadow hands that
I
come
will
out of
be interested in
walls.
hearing how you navigate that without tying Bigfoot to something weirder.
Oh, I don't worry about it. That story is you know what? This is like one of the few I would almost want to like send you a cut right now, even though
Would
even
love
though
to. I
it's
won't
like
say anything about it. I won't spill any
wildly.
beans.
Yeah, it's the most personal thing I've done, and I made a movie about my mom dying. Like I made a
Hold on.
movie.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
what?
The
Oh,
a movie
well,
about your mom? I
on
didn't
the
know
Trail of
that.
Bigfoot, the origin was filmed in a 5-day window between my mom's death and her funeral. I jumped up on a plane, flew to British Columbia, and filmed a movie in Harrison Hot Springs between her death and the funeral. Um, and the movie is about like, it's about the origins of the Bigfoot topic, but it's also about me processing my mom passing away.
Oh,
After like a 3-year battle with cancer. So
which was oh, Seth. I'm like, was that cathartic or was it horrific to
no, it
do
was
that?
great. No, I loved it. Wait, you mean making the movie?
Hmm.
No, it was great. What was tough would be like I would come downstairs and then I'd have to. There's a lot of like video and photos of her and things in there, and that was a little hard. At this, I almost wish I could make it now because I think that would be truly cathartic. At the time, it probably did more damage than I realized.
Because you
Um,
were like still trying to catch your breath from it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, Plus, I mean, we were dealing with, I mean, just all sorts of stuff. But yeah, no, this Kinderhook thing.
Mm.
When I was reading our book, like our published book that Bruce Hallenbeck wrote, I kept picking up on this theme about him and his grandma, and his grandma raised him. And there was like a
There goes Sam
really,
again.
I see him. Wow, look at
Yeah.
that. Yeah, beautiful. Um, got the ass on that. Uh, no, I kept picking up on that this like undercurrent of sadness that ran through the whole thing. And I was like, that's the story I want to tell. Like all this other stuff is kind of window
Um,
dressing to this guy's life and his relationship with his grandma and
oh,
his, like that was the thing I wanted to do. And so then I was like, well, I don't know how to do this because I don't know how to, with On the Trail of Bigfoot, the origin is told from my perspective. So I can say whatever I want, like, because it's
right.
happening
It's your
while I'm
story.
filming. Yeah, while I'm filming
Yeah.
this thing. And those are always kind of in the moment, autobiographical in a way. And with this one, it was tougher. But then I was like, well, the thing the thing that I'm looking for is that strange stuff happens to real people. And this is basically just expanding on that. To where a good deal of the movie will focus on Bruce and his upbringing and his life, but it's also intertwined with these really odd occurrences. And a lot of those odd occurrences are tied to his grandma. Um, and then like I gotta tell you, there are projects that I work on where you never feel like you have a creative idea. You're kind of on not on autopilot, but we do so much that sometimes I just can't find my own way into the story. And that works
Yeah.
out. Like people love Mothman Legacy, and I've got no personal involvement or perspective or anything in that movie. It's just, you know, it came together in a way people like. I would say the same thing, maybe even about Flatwoods. Um,
Really?
yeah, as far as like, I love. I love making these, but sometimes you just aren't personally invested in the story to a certain degree. And but with this one, I've had so much fun like making it, and we're gonna go shoot recreations today with the Bigfoot suit and stuff, and I've got ideas for that. And but the one that at some point during the making of this movie, I heard the song Claire de Lune,
Mm.
and I was like, I love that song. I want that song in
Beautiful.
this movie. And so it's all throughout the movie. I had Brandon do four variations of it, and it's like one of those things where when he just sent me one an hour ago, this like ethereal kind of like dreamy
Oh,
version that goes over the end of the movie.
oh my
um
gosh.
and then I text Bruce Hallenbeck and I'm like, hey, did your grandma, like, what was your grandma's favorite song? Apparently her favorite
No.
song, her favorite song was Ave Maria. So
Okay.
not
Okay.
that. But
Okay.
I said, "Oh, okay." I was like, I just wondered because like Claire, I I just hit upon using Claire de Lune in this movie, and it's all throughout the movie. And he goes, "Oh, that's my favorite song." So so that
It
was
was
a cool,
his.
yeah, it's
Oh
his
my
favorite
gosh.
song. So and he's like this really interesting, unique, creative guy. He made movies. He was a film director. He still, would do filmmaking. He started doing filmmaking when he was a kid. He's a writer. The movie opens with an old interview from the 70s with him where he's talking about film criticism because he was a film critic for a while. Um, I don't know. I just like some people I glom onto in a way where I become obsessed with telling their story, and that was
Yeah, yeah,
one where I
yeah.
was like, I gotta get this guy's story out because it's I'm really excited to show it to him, and that isn't
Okay.
always the case.
See, this sounds in some ways like some of the reasons I really liked First Contact because it felt so, I mean, even the way it opened,
Hmm.
like it's talking about,
Yeah, that's another one.
it's like people and their stories, and
Yeah,
it's
you get
like,
attached to that guy, by the way. Like
oh, I
that
was
was
attached by the end of it.
yeah, well, good because that's the goal. Like
It was
with
really, but I think because you feel the connection, you've got a whole team, which is great. But like, I would imagine that when you feel that connection, it definitely
Well, yeah, and
inspires
and when it
the
comes to
telling their story.
the team end of things with that one was weird because we went through personnel changes during the making of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, and then like, and at the same time, that's probably one of the smaller scale films I've ever shot because other than the first weekend of shooting, which was Courtney and I and Zach and Heather, um, the rest of the time, I think it was just Courtney and I, or Courtney and Heather and I, or like it was a very small crew that were shooting interviews, and it was spread out over the course of like a year and 2 or 3 months, which is we started filming interviews in the fall of 2023, and the movie's just coming out. So it's 2 years. It's been 2 years since we started
Since
filming
you,
it.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, that one, and Thomas is, Thomas Mantell is dead. Um, and you kind of know that going into it, and you're like, okay, but my thing with that story from the beginning was that is a relatively well-known piece of UFO lore. Um, but that's all it is to most people is like this
yeah,
piece of UFO lore. Um, and so I was from the start, honestly, I wish we had been able to do more from the personal side of things with it. His, his wife has passed. His sons have both passed, I believe, and all that's left are the grandsons, and they never met him. So, um, telling his
right,
story was tough. It involved a lot of research, which was helped along by that. Definitely was Courtney and Heather and Aaron helping me on the research end of that one. But yeah, with that one, it was all about, can we actually portray this guy in a way that is true to who he was and show who he was as a person? Because I think it's really important to educate people. um, there's another story like that. There's a lot of these stories, obviously, but that Portage County UFO chase is one that I've always been obsessed with. And
yeah,
Micah Hanks and I are like simpatico on this.
really.
Yeah, he's coming to Ohio sometime
Oh
in
my
next year, and
gosh,
we're going to work on something with that.
that's so fun.
Yeah, but it's like that's one of those stories that I love, and the effect it had on the people. I mean, the Thomas Mantell thing is tragic because not only did the two boys lose their dad, but like the one son, like it kind of, is that Terry? I think it's Terry, where it basically like,
It wrecked him.
yeah, he became an alcoholic later in life. And his sons talk about that, and they know that like that had a huge impact on him for the remainder of his life. And that touches generations. So I said in
Yeah,
like a Facebook or a social media post about, people do see that story as just like this cool UFO story because it involves a dogfight. And even our advertise, like the marketing of the movie is leaning into that
right.
because that's the thing that everyone knows. But at the heart of that is this guy who lost his life chasing what he thought was a UAP, which was more than likely not, but
Yeah,
that's
well,
up for debate.
yeah, yeah. But to me, that was what made it such a cool piece. I think, yeah, I was interested because of the topic, but
Mhm.
once you get into it, the best stories that exist in any of these like fringe realms are the ones that have a really incredible insight into humanity. And I think, even the context of World War II and um yeah, my grandpa was a World War II pilot. And in
Mhm.
fact, a few days ago, I had been talking to my dad. I was like, what did grandpa ever say about, like Foo Fighters or any of these things? And I feel like having that, most of us have some personal tether to somebody who's fought in a
Yeah.
war. And
I mean, my
just,
brother, my sister, and my dad are all veterans. And then my grandma Schrock, her brother was shot down in World War II and ended up in a like, what is that called? Like a concentration. It's not a concentration.
POW camp.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it was something like that. And we have photos of him in the camp. There's a photo.
Where?
Um, my cousin Jenny has one. Um,
I mean, where was the camp?
I don't know. That's
Oh,
like the funny thing is I don't know as much about my own family as I do about some of these people that are at the top. That's something I'm trying to write to fix because like we did On the Trail of Bigfoot the Ancients last year, and that was all about my dad's family down in North Carolina. And they lived in Bryson City, in the area of Bryson City, like 80 years before there was a Bryson City. Like they were the OG settlers in that area. And I wanted to learn more about them. So I've been like the nice thing about what I do is I figured out a way to be able to tell the stories that like our audience want. It's like Bigfoot stuff, but I can also do things I want to do, like explore my dad's family and
yeah.
their story.
Which then in turn makes the story richer because you've got this connection and
Hmm.
investment. So it's going to be a more accurate channel of your
Yeah,
creativity, I feel like.
yeah, that's the goal.
That's, well, it's really fun. I, the Wendigo book, I
Yeah,
need to
I'm
order.
I'm derailing everything, by the way. You
No,
keep
no,
trying
no.
to like,
No, it's great. It's great. It's funny because I was thinking the one of the reasons that I wanted to ask about the Wendigo book is like, how
mm.
did you settle on Wendigo as the topic with all of these things that you guys have
Well,
done? Like,
all
what's the,
credit to
yeah.
Jason Hewlett who wrote the book because he lives in Canada and he brought that topic to me and I'm just like, yeah, we'll invest in that. So let's do that. If that's
Oh,
the story you
okay.
want to, yeah, he's working on his next thing is a well before that he had wrote a book that we published on Ogopogo. So he's
Okay. See,
been
this is terrible because I don't even know about that book.
yeah, you should
What's the
talk to
name of that
Jason.
book?
The book is called Great Question. It's a book about Ogopogo.
The Legend of Ogopogo, Canada's Loch Ness Monster.
That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Killed
Okay.
it with that title. But that also
Perfect.
had a movie that tied into it called Cursed Waters. And Cursed Waters comes out on October, what is it? It's like this month. It's I was hoping I had it in my calendar, but I don't. It's in the next 2 weeks. Cursed Waters will be available again. It was available last summer, but then we pulled it. Now it's being distributed widely. So that's like the tie-in movie. But Jason, I know Jason wanted to do an Ogopogo book, and then he wanted to do Wendigo, and I think it's tied as much to his his heritage and where he's from, and exploring these legends that they have. Because I mean, if you want they have everything up there. And like
They really do.
his next thing he's doing a special that comes out in December called The Bigfoot Legacy that's going to be all around Harrison Hot Springs up in British Columbia.
Oh,
And then
really?
yeah, and then next year, and I haven't said this anywhere else yet, but he's doing so that Bigfoot Legacy comes out in December and then he starts filming a new Bigfoot series he's doing this fall. So Jason's doing a
What's
lot.
the,
He's writing books and appearing in shows.
and that's all under the umbrella
STM, yeah,
of STM.
yeah.
So what's the spin on the Bigfoot series this fall?
I mean, it's entirely well. He's filming it this fall, so I don't expect we'll see episodes of that until probably like February or March even.
Right.
Um, but the goal there is to really investigate the phenomenon in British Columbia. He wants to do like a Headless Valley thing. Which we have coming as a movie um, as well next year, directed and shot by Alexander Pedikov, which we have not announced that either, but it's going to be announced in like a week, so it's fine.
Whoa.
That's called Sasquatch Journey into the Headless Valley. But him and Jason are doing that together. Like Jason will be involved in the filming of that movie, and then Jason's also going to be filming episodes of his show. So it's
Oh my
entirely set
gosh.
in British Columbia. Um,
Which honestly is one of the coolest locations for all of this, just because
it's the
there's
birthplace.
enough of it still unspoiled that it just
Yeah.
makes sense that there's more going on there.
They're trying to spoil it though. When we were there,
Oh, of course
when
there. Humans
when
try to
we were
spoil everything.
there, that's a big part of the origin movie. I mean, the amount of development around Harrison Hot Springs, which is Sasquatch Central, is crazy. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, we just need more animal rights activists that are like keyed into the Sasquatch side of things.
yeah, I don't know if it's going to
It's
happen.
really maybe I wonder if PETA would ever take that on.
Do we want Peter to take that on?
I don't know. We want somebody. Whoever the anti-whalers, they seem very like dedicated. Maybe we need to channel them.
Ahab, Captain Ahab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, well, I'm gonna buy the Ogopogo book in addition to the Wendigo books then. Um, what's your I don't know, you can go off the record if you want, but what's your 2 cents on the Wendigo story?
Um, um, I mean, I would put that in the same camp as like Skinwalkers and Poltergeist
Okay.
stuff. Like it all seems very supernatural. Like I don't think there's a natural creature out there roaming around with, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like even that version of the Wendigo that everyone knows with the antlers and everything is pop culture. That's not
That's
that
not
is
what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not in any way what it actually is. So, I think it's a supernatural phenomenon if it's anything. It's
Oh,
demons.
if okay. So yeah, I don't know. The Skinwalker thing. Have you read the books?
I
Like
we
the
made a movie about it called American Werewolves 2. And that was all we shot on we were allowed onto the Navajo reservation. We interviewed people about it. We interviewed a guy who had to be blurred out, but he has knowledge of how it works and what the practices are that that brings about a
wait, so
skinwalker.
like a Navajo dude?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Um, watch American
wow.
Werewolves too. It's hard to find
Yeah.
because the distributor for that one sucks. And I'll say that they can sue me at this point. I don't
Yeah,
care.
they can. That's fine.
They're
American
absolutely
Werewolves
awful.
too. Yeah, because I was gonna say I haven't seen that at all.
Yeah, there's a subtitle to that one, but I think it's called The Skinwalkers, American Werewolves too. Um, but it's shot in the same. It's the same
It's
kind of
on
like,
Tubi.
yeah.
Is there a place I can watch it that you actually get something from?
We won't get anything from them. Period. They're the worst. They're the absolute
I'm
worst.
really sorry.
It is what it is.
Man.
But yeah, watch that movie because I think it's very interesting. I wish that's like one of those ones where, in retrospect, I wish I had approached it differently because we initially were like, "Hey, American Werewolves 1, everyone loves it. It's a real fun like sighting style, 80s style, neon 80s David Lynch kind of vibe."
Oh, Lynch.
And I was like, let's do one out west." And then we were like, let's make it about skinwalkers and how that ties into the dogman topic, and if it does. And then we get out there and we start interviewing people, but we're already fully committed to the American Werewolves aesthetic, right? Because we funded it through Kickstarter and everything, and everyone wants an American Werewolves too.
Right.
So you have this approach that kind of juxtaposed with the topic, which is very serious and scary and
Right.
messes with people, and there's people that have died messing around with that. It
Yeah.
almost is. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I think maybe in retrospect, we would have been better served um, just approaching it as its own standalone movie. It works, and I stayed away from doing any of the kitschy stuff I tried with American Werewolves 1, but while still maintaining some of that style. But it like kneecapped me stylistically because
Right.
I don't want to
The
go too far with it, and I don't, you always have to walk that line anyway because you don't want it to feel like you're putting someone in the butt of a joke who's
which I
willing to
think you
tell
do
you
a
their story.
magnificent job of. I mean, I think overall that would be one of the like you guys have done a ton of different stuff, but I feel like
Hmm.
that's one of the overarching, very consistent themes
Hmm.
with STM is it's never making fun of people, nor is it doubling down and saying this is absolute gospel. Like I
Yeah.
think it does a really good job of, staying in that space, which I would
Did you
imagine
did you feel
is
that
hard to
way
do.
with Lost Contact?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like there were some very specific facts presented
Yeah.
that are fairly like influential maybe in formulating opinions, but I still didn't feel like it was a this is this is truth and this is not.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know.
You're one of the
Anything,
first people I've
yeah.
talked to who's actually seen it, like that's not directly tied to SDM,
Oh,
other than there was a bloody disgusting review and there was another one that went up this morning. But like it's always interesting to hear what people think about this stuff.
I just liked it because I mean, even some of the quotes in it that really resonated with me, like when one of the women you interviewed was talking about people don't even associate it with Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like people think that it happened, and I was thinking back, and I'm like, I don't know that I ever would have
I,
identified
I
that
don't
that's
think
where it
I would
happened.
have prior to learning about more about it. It's not, I don't think you immediately think Kentucky when you hear of that event.
No,
Um,
I would have imagined, someplace around one of the really famous Air Force bases, right? So I
yeah.
would have been like, oh, it's probably California.
Well, and
Maybe
I
it was
think
by Wright-Patterson.
that
Maybe it
Kentucky
was, yeah.
angle, the Kentucky angle, I think is one of the reasons why the Blue Book or not, that was Sign, I think, Project Sign, we're so comfortable with kind of like making Mantell out to be like a hillbilly who didn't know
An
any
idiot
better. He misidentified
because it
Venus.
was Kentucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the case. I mean, like it's the same thing with Ohio and Pennsylvania with the Portage Lakes thing. Like the
Yeah.
initial response to some of the stuff is so like vulgar on the part of
Yeah.
our own government.
Yeah. And like you said, the trickle down effect of that real time within a family, like to
Hmm.
see this isn't just like a nameless, let's put this tag on it so it doesn't cause problems and like, wow, that's not true, but we're just gonna, it's not a big deal. Like that, the butterfly effect of that was huge
Yeah,
for this family.
massive.
And even in the context of, I mean, clearly I'm not in my rah patriot era, but it also was really, I think, lovely to frame it with this is what had been happening. This is what the country felt like in that time. I think you guys did a really good job of setting that baseline because it, you know,
Yeah,
pretty different from the way it feels right now. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I definitely still feel it walked the line of informing and leaving a lot of space for people to make their own decisions and
Hmm.
not, it did not feel leading. I don't know. I can't imagine anybody that you interviewed feeling like they were unhappy or misrepresented. I guess like it's always been a point that I'm really impressed with by you guys because I don't know how you consistently talk to people about things that ostensibly are insane
Right.
but never make them sound silly or insane, nor do you like flip it and say like no they're absolutely this is true, this is exactly what happened. And that's just it's a documentaries are hard to do in and of themselves, but to walk in these topics and be able to accomplish that I think is pretty
Well, I think
remarkable.
the only way to do that is to be objective about it because I think there's a reason like the stuff on TV. I say that all the time. There really isn't a lot of stuff on TV anymore, like
Well, the
relating
History
to these
Channel
topics.
shows, you can
Yeah,
just say the History Channel shows.
yeah, but even like I'm talking, I think maybe more about. Yeah, no, I guess you're right. Like it when you are pushing like an agenda one way or the other, that is when it starts to sound insane.
Yeah,
Which, by the
in
way,
fact it's
kind of ties back to what we were talking about at the very beginning with politics in
yes,
our culture, because the re
yes.
the reason it's so hard to have discussions and stuff is because when people are so dead set on convincing you of something, it's harder to take it seriously. I feel like maybe I'm wrong,
Well,
but
you just can't even have a conversation. You're just
mhm.
having like two recordings playing back and forth against each other. Like there's
Yeah,
no actual dialogue.
yeah,
But I think we've all become so addicted to that dopamine firing of like being told you're right about something
yeah,
that it's really hard to exist in any other space.
hmm,
Like we sit there, and if I sit in my tunnel vision echo chambers, I can go all day without questioning a single thing that I believe or feel about something. And that's really tempting to do, but
hmm,
so freaking bad
yeah.
for all of us to do.
Yeah.
Like it's funny that it's the same mentality Sam and I use in like where we send our kids to school. Like there's this amazing private full language immersion school in Missoula that like we'd have to eat ramen to send them there, but we could send them there.
Mhm.
But if I send them there, literally everybody in their classes is going to be just like different versions of Sam and I in terms of
Mhm.
what they think, where they come from, what they believe. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not what we need to be doing as a species. We need to be like interacting and hearing and questioning, is
Well, I
my
mean,
parents right about this or are they not right about this? Like, that's
yeah.
hugely important.
It does hit me. I've said a lot of crap about like boomers on this show, so I don't want it to seem like I'm ageist or something. What I think is the problem there specifically is just the adjustment. Zach and I have talked about this in the last few weeks. Zach, who my director of photography. The world has changed so dramatically in such a short span of time that I don't think people of a certain generation have quite managed to adjust on a whole. Obviously there
Totally
are
agree.
people who have managed to adjust or figure it out, but a lot of people, like when you throw AI video and photos into the mix,
Oh my God.
I mean, Facebook is disastrous because of it.
Well, and even my mom and dad, my dad is not on social media at all, but like my mom, she knows that there's a bunch of like fake stuff on there,
Mhm.
but I don't think she understands that it's like almost all fake,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like she thinks she can sort through it and find stuff. And I hear that a lot from that generation. Like, yeah, 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 we're being like intelligent consumers, but really, I don't think you can be in that space anymore. Like
Mhm.
the absence of any objective reality. I think about like when we were kids, our parents had what, like ABC, CBS, CNN,
Yeah,
Fox. Like I'm sure we were getting bullshit, but at least everybody was getting the same bullshit.
yeah.
And now, like everybody has their own customized world that they live in. And
Hmm.
so there's like it's really easy to just be separated from everybody. So
Well, I mean, and discussions are good. I will say, I think back to when I was a kid and even before that, and the thing you heard the most often was like, don't talk politics and don't talk uh religion.
religion.
And these are the
Yep.
two things that everyone on Facebook want to debate. I mean, maybe that's the thing, is like just talking about it online is the mistake. Because
You should
like,
at least be able to see someone's face.
yeah, I think that's probably the key.
But I don't know. I just I think that the space for all of this stuff creates this very interesting area. I mean, you mentioned it kind of in some ways with like the people in your company.
Mm,
We have to drag you to Contact in the Desert, Seth. We went
mm,
there last year.
yeah.
Seth, my husband, it turns out he's a social butterfly. He
Mm.
just needs to be at
He
Contact in the
is.
Desert.
I agree. I
Like
agree.
it was, I've never seen him like
Mm,
more genuinely enthused to socialize in my entire life. And I think, like, obviously, there were stories that people told that I like in my head, I'm like, okay, that's insane.
yeah.
But everybody's sitting there feeling like, to use a very overused phrase, feeling like it's a safe space and
Mm,
somebody's not going to jump down their throat for saying the wrong word. Or, like a guy sat down and we had a great conversation. He was really worried about the fact that I had vaccinated my kids. Outside of that space,
mm,
my MO would be to like unleash on someone like that. But
yeah.
in this space, I'm like, tell me why. And I was
Mm,
like, why can't we just be like that all the time? I don't know. It feels
yeah.
like, but because everybody there is already like at this baseline level of kind of weird, there's just a lot more grace that people give to each other.
Yeah.
And like literally, if I have to use my miles to get you a ticket there, we are dragging you there, Seth. It was amazing.
I I I feel like maybe 2, 3 years ago we were asked to be there. Um, and it was during a shoot, but I don't remember when or what happened. I
Oh,
also don't traffic in the UFO world much just
I
because I think
know.
everyone thinks of me as like Mr. Cryptid. But I mean, I consider
There's
George Knapp
cryptid
a
stuff there
friend, so
too.
that's something, you know? Maybe Knapp can
Sorry.
put in a word.
Yeah, well, on it, the people that produce it, the Captain Ron,
Hmm.
nicest freaking dude.
Hmm.
Oh my God, so nice. We became friends with him, and Jamie is kind of like right hand lady. They're
Hmm.
great. So we will like literally, I will drag you because
Hmm.
it like reinvigorated my faith in humanity. Like
Wow.
not even speaking hyperbolically, like it really did.
Yeah.
I came back and I was like, okay, it's gonna be all right. We just all need to like really dig into UFOs and weird shit, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just don't go on Twitter looking for UFO
correct.
stuff. Yeah.
That is correct. No, in fact, probably not any of those places looking for anything about
Right.
UFOs. I guess I don't know. Like, do you when you guys are coming up with new topics, if you're not, you know, sitting and watching the headlines about any new things that come up, especially in terms of cryptids or, you know, because you guys have done a number of UFO things too. Do you guys just have like a backlog of ideas, or is there like, oh, this is a new thing that's
Well,
just happening and we need to be on the front of it?
there was that no, definitely not that. Like, we're definitely not trying to be on the forefront of anything. I think that's why I'm making movies about like things that happened in the 40s.
But that's okay. That's
Uh,
great.
no, and there isn't really a backlog anymore. There was, but like Kinderhook and Ape Canyon are kind of like bringing up the rear of like where the story ideas I wanted to tell. And I said this to Brandon last week when we were talking about the Claire de Lune thing. I said, 10 years ago we made Minerva, and it's this movie about a family in a small town, and they experience weird things on their property, and there's an element of sadness to that story, with like members of the family dying in a small town that struggles and all these things. And 10 years later, we're making The Kinderhook Creature, which is about this family on a property outside of a small town who experience
Mm-hmm.
things that they can't
Mm-hmm.
explain, and there's an element of sadness to it. And I said, if this ends up being the last kind of traditional STM story, like the small town and, like the Flatwoods, Terror in the Skies, whatever, like Momo style movie we make, I think that's like the perfect bookend. It would be 30, what is it? It's like 32 movies that are kind of like
Who makes
that.
32 movies in 10 years, Seth?
Someone with no life. But I mean, I guess if you took out all the on the trail of stuff, that's the thing, is I kind of forget about that. On the trail doesn't fall within that. Even some of the movies don't, like American Werewolves isn't a traditional STM. That's why I always said STM's weird, because there's Small Town Monsters, the production company, and then there's what Small Town Monsters began as, which was a film about small towns and rural communities and the
Yeah.
phenomena that happen across them and how they impact the community and the people where they take place. So I guess that what I'm saying is, like, there's not going hopefully there's not an end to small town monsters, but the way the movie industry is, the film industry, and the way distribution and all this stuff goes, um, it's possible Kinderhook's the last kind of traditional STM movie. When we talk about the next week, when we announce like what movies we're making next year, there's no traditional STM movie, and there wasn't last year. This year's interesting because everything is Siege of Ape Canyon, the Bennington Triangle. The Dawn of the Dog Man is a spiritual sequel to Bray Road Beast, and then Kinderhook.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so all those are kind of like harken back to the early days of STM, and so Kinderhook might end up being the final chapter in that story. I don't know if it will or not. I'm always looking for like another story I can tell with that format,
I'll send you my list.
but it's also, yeah, but see, yeah, this is where we get into the unfun, the not fun side of all this, which is the business side, where it's like this stuff doesn't make money. Like
I
it's
know.
sad, but like the movies that I started out, like Minerva, if it came out today, would never find an audience. Neither would Boggy, Mothman and Point
You don't
Pleasant.
think so?
Nuh-uh. It's the
I
the
feel like
the
people are open to way crazier shit now than
people
they were.
want evidence. They don't want the stories of people in small towns and things like that. So And again, like I'm not saying we're going away or my style of storytelling is going away. I start filming a series next month in the Smokies about my dad's family, and we've already made 2 chapters in that story. And so like I'll always be doing this the way I do it. But as far as like that traditional STM story, I don't know that that'll happen again.
So where do you see, like, where does the road lead then?
Well, it's just more of the well, that's the wrong way to start that sentence. It's just more of the same old crap. No, I
Well, I
think
mean, that isn't, it's not crap. So
no, I think, and I should say that like for again, just to restate this, I'm not saying these movies are going away. I'm not saying the traditional STM movies are going away. I'm saying right now we're at a place where I don't have a story in my head that I am desperate to tell in that same way. Maybe the movies or the stories are a little more broad. Like the Dogman movies we've been making with Aaron. Dogman Legacy is coming out. It's another thing I haven't announced anywhere. Dogman Legacy comes out next year,
Mhm.
and that's kind of the final chapter in Aaron's stories he's been telling,
Wow.
which is like Dogman Triangle, Dogman Territory, and then Dogman Legacy. And that's a broad look at the Dogman topic. It is contained to smaller areas, but it's not done in the same way that I like to do those traditional STM movies. That's what's weird is like there's so many movies that we've almost created like subgenres within the STM library. And
Yeah.
um
I mean, it's like a tree more than it is like a line,
yes,
you know.
yeah. And so I think I mean, we're definitely going to continue making movies, but I think the topics, the subjects of those movies maybe get a little more broad. But I mean, again, like something might come up, like some story might come up that I really have to tell that is, isolated to a small town. It involves, cases or
I feel like
people.
you need to tell the story of puckwudgies and squonks.
And neither of those interest me. Puckwudgies actually has been on the list. In fact, we were supposed to do a Puckwudgie thing. I want to say it was like 2020. We had talked about it. Because there's Puckwudgie stories in Indiana, in Ohio, and up in New England. And so,
There are some even in Montana. They just
really?
call it something different. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, see, I find that stuff fascinating. The other problem is when it comes to that, I could see myself doing that with YouTube, because like the budget's lower. But when I'm like dedicating and investing money in a project, you kind of have to try to do something that there's an audience for, to some degree. Again, this is the unfortunate, the boring kind of business aspect of
well, maybe
what
you
we
just
do.
have to have like a UFO connection to everything because I
Oh,
feel
God.
like
You
everybody
know what's
seems to be
funny
paying
is
attention to that
almost
right now.
everything, not almost everything, but a lot of the UFO stuff I've done bombed. Like like Night Visitors was a huge bomb.
Really?
Yeah, huge bomb. Um, what
Maybe
else?
you need to re-release it.
Is that because I did the audio mixing on that?
Did you?
Probably.
I
Byron,
don't
way
know,
to
dude.
fuck that up.
Sorry.
You've done audio mixes though. You did audio mix
Werewolves.
on Werewolves, and that was that was a huge success for us, honestly.
Okay,
Still
good.
is.
Well, that's good.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was a huge bomb again. I thought we were going to reinforce this with that.
No, but did Byron do 2?
I've done a
I
couple, I
don't
think.
know.
No, I
I
mean,
don't
did you
know.
do American
Oh,
Werewolves too?
I don't know if I did.
This is the one
Okay.
with Skinwalkers. Byron, we got to watch this one. I haven't seen it.
All right. Hey,
He's doing the sound mix on Kinderhook.
yes, I
I
am.
did know that. I
Okay.
did know that.
All right.
How's
That's
the conversation going? I've just tuned back in.
it's
Well,
great.
I never
Seth
do
asked
this.
me for a list of movies or a list
Yeah,
of topics that
It
he's
is
going to
true.
make into movies now.
Kelly's
No.
not interviewing. She's just having a normal
The
conversation
the
with
first
Seth.
one is Puckwudgie,
Okay.
and then Squonk, and then I
Well,
think Bradshaw Ranch, and
Oh
then the
boy,
Flathead
wow.
Lake
This
Monster,
is all
I am,
stuff I
I
am
am
very
surprised that
excited.
Seth hasn't done a squonk
and
doc.
Mount Shasta. I think we need to do the weird tall creatures on Mount
Oh,
Shasta.
yeah, man. Oh,
Um,
wow. Really? Hmm.
yep, yep. I mean, what about like the weird stories where people talk about dinosaurs popping up? I mean, like
Oh,
Skinwalker
I
Ranch.
that
Supposedly there have
stuff
been
I would, yeah,
dinosaurs.
I would love that. That
Okay,
actually,
so this is
yeah.
what we really do. All jokes aside, we need to get you to Bradshaw because that kind of shit is like supposedly what shows up there too. And after seeing these fucking footprints, Seth, like, I don't know.
I hate to do this, but I'm supposed to be
I know you
filming
have to go.
recreations in 1 hour out in Minerva,
Yep.
which is 45 minutes from me. So
Okay, well, we really appreciate it. Don't worry, I'll get you the list, so you'll be fine.
yeah, please.
Yeah,
Itemized
and
bullet point
I will.
ideas you have for how to make it
I will.
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I can draw up like just a really quick overview of like timestamps and shot
Beautiful.
suggestions too.
Great.
So
I can't wait.
okay.
Just don't run it
Have
through
so much fun.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Who needs that? You just got me.
This is where you
I
reiterate the product or project that he's plugging and tell people to check it out. You also
yeah.
tell them
Well,
to follow him on social
hey,
media.
we discussed many projects. Thank you so much. But the ones that I'm really excited about, I want everybody to go buy these books because I think people need to be reading more anyway.
Please.
Go buy the Wendigo book.
Yes, definitely.
From Small Town Monsters website, please.
Mhm.
Smalltownmonsters.com. Pretty easy to remember, everybody. And honestly, I think you should all go rent and watch the new show that just came out yesterday.
Lost Contact.
Lost Contact on Amazon. Although
Mhm.
I hate promoting Amazon with every fiber of my being, Seth.
Well, so do I, but unfortunately, it's the only platform or fantastic. It's the only platform.
Yep, I know, and that's why it's worth it. It's worth it to swallow the ethics and watch it because it's an amazing, beautiful story about a case that most people, like you said, Seth, most people have heard of this, but I don't know anybody that knows that full story behind it. And it's a pretty compelling human tale in addition to a cool UFO bit of history.
Awesome.
So excited for all the things that are coming up. I'm sure we'll chat again soon, but keep doing all the awesome work, Seth. Thanks for everything that you put out there, and keep having conversations with all of your awesome employees so that humans continue to remember that they're human. It's good.
Don't wait so long to have me on, guys. Come on.
I know it's Byron's fault. I'm booking my own interviews now because Byron's too busy.
Yeah.
Well, no, remember, I'm a podcaster again. I took a break for like 2 or 3 years, and
he's leaving the greens now, and he's going to work for just podcasting again.
We don't talk about that. Did you talk about that during this?
No, I didn't.
All right, great, wonderful.
Fine.
Seth, I'll see ya.
Bye, Seth. Thank you.
You've been listening to an Audio Wool original, produced by Byron McCoy. Theme music is provided by Yawns. For more programs like this, visit audiowool.co.